Good morning, this is Faith at Faith&books. I'm going to do a review of Rose in Bloom, which is part of the Louisa May Alcott almost year-long read-along that was being hosted by Kate Howe and Megan Hanna. So the first thing I have to say is that I have to issue an errata, because when I reviewed Eight Cousins last month, I hadn't actually finished the book. I thought that I had. I don't think this has ever happened to me before, but I fell asleep, and as I was falling asleep, I thought I had finished the book. I was reading it in my Kindle because I get it downloaded for free. And so the next morning I got up and I decided, like I'm doing now, to do my review. And then that night when I went to bed, I just happened to open up the Kindle and I saw I was at 97%. So I hadn't actually finished it. So I finished it immediately, but I felt quite humiliated because here I'd done this review of a book I hadn't finished. And also it was kind of embarrassing because in that video I said, now, where did the ants live? Did they all live together? I couldn't remember. Well, the very last part of the book is Rose, this is in Eight Cousins, going around to take turns living at the different ants' houses, not ant houses, and then deciding to stay with Dr. Alec, so her guardian, so and uncle. So anyway, so I got that wrong, and so I made sure this time that I actually finished Rose in Bloom. So Rose in Bloom is the sequel to Eight Cousins, and it features the same characters. Rose was orphaned and taken in by her uncle, Dr. Alec, who raised her, and she has 7 cousins who are all boys, and they're all from the Campbell family, which are very proud of their Scottish heritage, that their great ancestor is Robert Bruce, I think. And so this is just a continuation of their story when they're older and they're reaching adulthood. So it's basically about their romances and what they do with their lives. So it's a sweet story, and it's very much a Louisa May Alcott story. The thing I found interesting about it, and it's because I was also reading Pilgrim's Progress, and then I started reading the John Adams book by David McCullough. There's just so much sermonizing in Louisa May Alcott's books. The way the characters talk to each other. Everybody's a project that people are working on. People are projects, and you're always trying to better those around you, and this seems to require lots and lots of sermons, where you're constantly admonishing the other person to avoid a particular sin or whatever. And the character of Rose, while very likable and sweet, I could identify with her. She doesn't jump off the page like Jo March does. She's a little bit of a prig, and in fact other people laugh at her. And she says that. She says, she has these ideas. She has these high ideas. She is an heiress. Somehow she's got money. She's going to get money. And she wants to be a philanthropist. She wants to go around and help the poor. And she has a very generous, sweet heart. And she wants to, and sensitive. She sees evil in the world and she wants to fix it. And that's all wonderful and everything. But it's so, really verges on heavy-handed. And I have to say, I hope the next book is a little bit of a variation from this, because, all the books I've read so far, Little Women, Little Men, Joe's Boys, and then Eight Cousins, and they're very, very much the same in this regard. So while part of me kind of rebels against all the sermonizing, I also sort of found it fascinating, because I saw this connection between Pilgrim's Progress, which is basically one long sermon told in allegory, and then and when did that come out? In the 1600s or something. And then John Adams, and the Pilgrim's Progress is a Puritan book, right? Then John Adams comes out of New England, which of course was settled by Puritans and had very much that culture about it. And I'm just starting that book, but he's like keeping journals. Everyone seemed to keep journals where they're working very hard to be, principled and develop their character. There's very much a focus on developing your character and striving for virtue, which is all good. I mean, I think we need more of that, actually. And then winding up with Rose and Bloom, which is, another couple generations removed from that, maybe a little bit more than that. And that's that same quality of just constantly sermonizing to others or to yourself is there as well. So that was sort of a neat thread to see in all three books. But I enjoyed the book. I am just a tiny bit tired of sermonizing. And it's not that I'm against trying to be good or principled or anything like that. I think it's just sort of the heavy-handedness of it that begins to grate a little bit. But some interesting things do happen in this book. I mean, in Eight Cousins, Rose decides she wants to be a doctor like her uncle. And that's, very progressive for the time, right? That I think women had started to be doctors, but it was limited. And but in this one, she's, it's all about being obedient and becoming a good wife, which, there's nothing wrong with being a good wife either, but just, it seemed more standard issue. And there's some, what do you call them, tropes or that are in this story that are just very, very common, like the young heiress going off to Europe. She goes off to, in the beginning of the book, she's just come back from a 2-year trip in Europe. So that seems like something. Did all rich Americans go to Europe for a couple of years or for a long journey through Europe? And then she well, this is a spoiler, but I just don't like the idea of marrying your cousin. And yet that's something that happens a lot. And that never sits well with me. What are some of the other, and then just the whole, her being very obedient, and just the idea that other people are projects that you work on. I don't know, there's something just heavy-handed about that begins to irritate me after a while. But I'm sounding condemning, but I did really enjoy the book. It's a nice escape. I like having a break between reading them. I peeked ahead at the next one. It's not exactly what I thought. It's called Hospital Sketches. That's what I'm supposed to read for May 1st. Not May 1st, the month of May. I'll read it at the end of May. And I thought, maybe this will just be like non-fiction where she talks about working in the hospital, but no, it seems to start out with the same type of independent woman like Jo March, who's decided to go off to work in the hospitals during the Civil War. Anyway, so that is my review of Rose and Bloom. I have not watched Kate House or Megan Hannett's reviews, so maybe theirs were more in depth. But I am enjoying the project. It's just that maybe it's a little too much Louise and May Alcott for me. I don't know. Anyway, so that's it. It's May 1st, so it's the Feast of Joseph the Worker. So go do some work today. Talk to you later. Bye.